comfortable seat. And I'm sitting on a nice bolster. It just lifts up my hips just a little bit so that I'm not, so compressed into my hips, so I can relax a little bit into the legs and the feet. And then the spine is nice and long. You want that feeling of being firm yet relaxed. And we're going to take our Adi Mudra today. So the thumb folds in to the palm, and then you just gently close over, and then the palms face down. So it's not tight fists, nice and loose. You're kind of holding and supporting the thumb on the inside, keeping it nice and warm and held and supportive. So this is called our Adi Mudra and is for stillness and support. So we can just rest those wrists face down on our knees and relax the shoulders, soften through the face, breathe out, close the eyes if you wish. And just find yourself sitting there in your space. Find yourself sitting on your mat. And observe just how you feel today. Your breath is slow, steady, controlled, rhythmic and relaxed. Breathing in and out. As you clear your thoughts from past and future, becoming present. And being present is just allowing yourself to be. Being where you are, nowhere else. So settle in, find the stillness. And our practice today is just one that's very soft, very gentle, almost meditative sequence to relieve any stress in the mind, in the body, maybe stress in the heart or the emotions. And will help you unwind, maybe after a long and quite busy or hectic, tiring weekend, and prepare you physically and mentally for your week ahead. So you can clear your thoughts and focus on the present moment and imagine tension melting away with each exhale. Humans seem fragile at times, like the shell of a bird about to hatch, as if we could break when someone taps on us just one more time. We can feel this in times of sickness or stress or heartache. We can feel it when someone lets us down, when we have an accident or life strikes at us. When a butterfly emerges from its breaking prison, it is reborn stronger and given a new life. When a chick emerges from its shell, it is anti-fragile, having gained strength from the moments of trial. These feelings of fragility are normal and very human. and is a chance and an opportunity to watch yourself be reborn. So, embracing these moments of vulnerability and fragility. Or a mantra, or a sankalpa, or affirmation for practice. I rest in the calm of inner balance and support. I rest in the calm of inner balance and support. Nice and slowly, just take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale through the mouth, release the fingers, release the thumb, keeping the palms face down. Just relax the palm onto your knees. Feel the thighs, feel the fingertips on the kneecaps. Take your attention through your wrists, your arms, up to the shoulders, traveling into the center of the collarbones, down the chest, down the sternum, into the heart space, protected and supported by the rib cage, traveling down past the diaphragm, past the navel, past the dantian, the core center, and breathe out once more into the root. Wiggle the fingers, circle the wrists, circle the shoulders, and lift the knees. Just give yourself a gentle hug here. Again, we want to find those moments of calm, stillness, and support. And then if you had one foot in front of the other, change the feet over, or maybe you were sitting in butterfly. So we're going to come to our alternate nostril breathing, which is the right hand. So two fingers can either come to the base of the thumb, or the two fingers can go to the forehead, just resting between the eyebrows. I quite prefer it in between the eyebrows, but your choice, you can always take it down there. The thumb takes hold of the right nostril nice and lightly. It's not pushing the nose all the way over. And the left ring finger closes, right ring finger closes your left nostril. So breathing in and out to prepare yourself. Both nostrils fully activated and engaged. Closing off the right nostril with your thumb, breathing in through the left, all the way to those two fingers or the third eye. Close off the ring finger, pause for a moment, exhale out of the right nostril as you release the thumb. Pause for a moment, breathe in through the right to the top, hold for a moment, release the left and breathe out. So try and really control the breath in, a small retention, a letting go, a moment of release. Breathing in, closing, retaining, exhaling. Nothingness, breathe in. Closing, retaining, exhaling, nothingness. So your own pace, continue for a few more rounds. Just observing the breath coming in, a moment of pause, no panic. You're completely in control as you breathe out. Emptying fully before breathing back in again. Each breath is equal to the next and the one before. And finding your last round, which completes as you exhale on the left. Releasing the right hand down, just breathing normally through both nostrils, really noticing if one was stronger or weaker, or did they feel balanced with each other. And slow and steady breaths, wiggling the fingers once more, releasing the legs, giving yourself that little hug, releasing the spine, releasing the head. And we'll come into our first posture, which is a reclined child's pose. So as I say, this practice will be quite slow, steady, relaxing and meditative. So there's not too many challenging postures, but I really want you to draw into the stillness and the deepening of each posture and where you're actually targeting. So drawing the knees in towards the chest. If you feel that this compresses the belly and you can't breathe, you might wish to just widen the knees so that the belly comes free. That's your choice there. Hands can go on top of your shins, or maybe you prefer them coming underneath the calves. So we're here for a number of minutes. Make sure that you're comfortable. Really releasing through the spine. Really feeling the entire spine connecting from tailbone to the back of the skull. And as you start to find the first minute in the posture, just notice how you feel, any sensations that come up for you. Using that exhale to completely release and let go of tightness, tension, any stress within the mind and the body. And just feeling what your target area may be in this posture. What do you feel the most? Where do you feel it the most? Where may you need to modify? Where do you need to move to make the posture work for you and to find stillness and to work towards your edge? Rather than listening to any sounds or goings on around you, listen inwards. Listen to what your body is telling you. And before we come out of this posture of reclined child's pose, we're going to be ultimately freeing up all of the chi, freeing up that flow of energy which has been compressed and have stopped from moving around. So when we come into our recovery or rebound posture, I want you to start to feel that chi flowing more freely to the areas which it is prevented to travel to. So breathing in, breathing out, releasing the hands, start to release the legs nice and slowly, taking the feet down to the mat, maybe one at a time, taking the feet a little bit wider than hip width, turning the toes inwards and the heels go out, and just resting the knees together. Take the arms out to the side of you, palms face up, and just breathe out and feel that release of energy. Free flowing now through the hips to the legs, to the feet and the ankles, flowing into the wrists, the hands, the fingers. Maybe you feel warmth, heat, vibration, pins and needles, numbness. Heel toe the feet into parallel and slide the legs all the way along the mat. Lifting the arms up above the head. Give yourself a big stretch here. Reach the fingertips back behind you. You might interlace the fingers and press back through the palms. Point the toes. Big, big stretch. Give yourself a big yawn here. So open up the mouth. Stretch the face. Stretch the eyes. And release. Let's take the right knee in towards the chest. So for our second posture, you can either bend the knee of your left leg with the sole of the foot down, or you might just wish to extend that leg all the way along the mat. You can, of course, use a strap over your shin, or you can interlace the hands if that's not too much tension into the hands or the fingers. And then relax the thigh down towards the rib cage. Softening here, trying to relax even the toes, the ankles. Softening into the legs, nothing is engaged or active or contracting. You're releasing through the muscles to target deeper into the connective tissue, into the joints. So, feeling here where maybe your target area is. You might be feeling a release into the spine. Might be feeling a stretch into the left leg and left hip flexor. You might even be feeling some release into the back of the hamstring of the right leg. Soften through the facial expression, relaxing all muscles, trying to reduce frowning and any tension that may build up. So, really find the breath. Letting go as much as you can of the buttocks, relaxing the pelvic floor. Few more breaths here, and reminding yourself that when we do start to release, we're going to start to feel that chi, that prana, the energy, the life force flowing back, the blood and the circulation. So start to release the fingers and release the right foot down, sliding that leg slowly, 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 all the way down. If you have the left leg bent too, slide that one away and just come into full corpse pose, arms out to the side, palms face up. Again, just observe, notice the rebound response of your body. You may feel kind of sparks of energy moving down through that right hip, right thigh, right hamstring into the right leg. You might feel that energy traveling up into the torso, releasing into the spine. And changing legs, left leg comes in. choosing your option of bent or straight right leg. And then dropping the thigh as much as you can towards the rib cage. Lengthening the neck, softening through the throat and the face. Being completely present with what is coming up for you. Trying not to let that mind wander of its own free will. Keep it in the moment, keep it with you. Your target areas here are releasing through the spine, drawing that thigh in as close as you can. Preparing to release. Breathing in. Breathing out, relax the hands away, lower the foot. Slide it all the way along the mat. Arms come out to the side, palms face up. Relax the right leg along. And just notice again that free-flowing energy. Like almost tying a knot into a hose. And then you suddenly untie the knot in the hose, and all that water can then flow freely. Bringing the feet just flat back up onto the mat, settle through the spine and the pelvis, and just drop the knees over right and left, windscreen wiper. Repeat twice more, right and left. Just releasing into the hip joints just a little bit before the next posture. We're going to come into happy baby. So again, we want to find our target area and working towards our edge. So let's circle the knees around, lubricate and mobilize into those hip joints. Circle the other way. And the knees stay nice and wide. Thighs are kind of going to come back up towards the rib cage. You can take hold of the feet, the ankles, or behind the calves. The head rests back on the back of the head. And just roll from side to side, just to give yourself a little bit of release into the spine. And then come back into the center and start to lengthen the tailbone downwards towards the end of your mat. Keeping the feet up towards the sky, you're going to start to pull the thighs downwards. Now notice your target area here might be inner groin, hamstrings, hip flexors are quite restricted here. So breathe into those tight areas. Close the eyes. Slow and steady breaths. Reminding yourself of working towards an edge during stillness as you hold the pose. It's a meditative practice of mind and body, Yin Yoga. Training the mind to be patient with holding postures for a number of minutes, even through a level of challenge or discomfort. Noticing what comes up for you. Maybe it's temperature, maybe you feel heat, maybe you feel the compression in the hip flexors, maybe it's in the hands. We are doing great. Almost there. Finding 10 more breaths. And slowly release the hands. Release the heels to the buttocks. Slowly release the hips and the legs. Just soften the feet to the outer edges, dropping the knees in towards one another. Ooh, I feel all quite warm myself there through that one. Breathe out. Feel that, again, that water as you've undone that hose. Just flowing the blood, the energy around the body. Heel toe the feet into parallel, draw the knees in towards the chest, roll and massage out, circle the knees, one way and the other, and then gently roll over to one side. Take your time here to just press yourself up into tabletop. So finding your position of tabletop, swaying out the hips and releasing into the spine, and then just find some cat and cow movements here. Again, just slowing everything down, being really present and calm. This practice is to relieve any tension and stress. We definitely don't want to cause the mind or body any anxiety. And just release back into a wide leg child's pose. You can put your hands underneath the forehead or rest the head on a block, widening the elbows and just relaxing the chest and the belly down between the thighs. Taking a few moments just to respond to coming out of reclined postures. We've been there almost 25 minutes. And coming into a dangling pose, which is a forward fold. So a couple of options for you. Obviously, if you have a bolster, you can use that. So that is your center kind of support and pillar. And just come up onto the feet, just relax the toes, release the ankles a little bit, bend into the knees. And maybe the head is just supported here, but make sure that you are relaxing into the forehead, relaxing into the neck. The hands might just drop down. Or maybe you don't feel that you need to use the bolster and you'd like to come into that full dangling pose of, release into the spine, release into the head. It's an inversion. So the head is below the heart. So just watch out if you have high blood pressure or any heart conditions. We're not here for a full 5 minutes. As you're here in this dangle, closing the eyes, maybe to relax through the forehead, the head, the neck, the spine, relaxing into the hips, the legs, the feet, and not clenching or gripping the toes. Long, slow, steady, even breaths. Releasing the hands down, releasing the feet. Just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Release the heels, the toes. We're going to come into our squat. So your options are using a block underneath the buttocks, or you might just come into your squat position. Hands drawing in towards the heart center. Elbows just leveraging the knees out to the side. Knees aren't rolling inwards. And the spine is really nice and long here, and shoulders nice away from the ears and relax. Try and close the eyes, relax here. And feel everything release here. So releasing into the pelvic floor, relaxing through the buttocks. We don't have to engage any bandhas here. It's not a yang practice. I want you to feel the sit bones reaching down towards the earth with each exhale. And just be aware where your target areas are here. Into your spine, into your hips, your legs, your feet, your ankles. Working for yourself within the posture. And noticing those sensations. Where do those sensations come from? What messages are you listening to from the body? Simple observations and listening. Release the hands. Start to lift the hips. Slowly, slowly, slowly releasing that hose, letting that water, fluid, blood, oxygen flow around the body. Sway the hips, give yourself a little circle into the knees and hips and ankles. And then come down to kneeling. So melting heart pose. You can rest the head on a block, either its lowest or its medium level. Hands come out in front of you. The hips stay nice and high above the knees. You can rest the hands just in front of the block or stretch them along the mat, trying to melt the heart downwards towards the mat. Lovely. So a lot of the previous postures have been towards the legs, the hips, releasing into the spine. This starts to bring yourself up to the upper body of the chest, the shoulders, and the upper back. So noticing your target areas, where you feel it the most. What can you do to work towards your edge and finding stillness by holding the posture? Using your exhale, relaxing deeper, letting go further. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring the hands just in front of you. Bring the elbows together and just slide forward, dropping the hips all the way to the mat, bringing the head down onto the cheek, left or right, doesn't matter. And just release fully into prone as you soften the ankles, soften the hips, releasing the belly and the spine. It might be nice here just to rock the hips from side to side, and maybe you might like to lift the feet and just rock the knees from side to side, windscreen wiper. And gently pressing yourself back into tabletop position. So we're going to find threading our needle. Left arm lifts up to the sky. And again, you can rest the head on a block. And you're going to bring the shoulder underneath you. And the left ear might rest on the mat or to a block. And the right palm can stay resting in front of your face, or you might wish to extend that right palm forward. So trying to draw that shoulder underneath you as much as you can. Just wiggle the fingers here. Make sure that you can still feel movement into that left palm. The palm is facing up towards the sky, so hips are nice and lifted. And you're feeling an openness here, target area of the right side of your body. So start to feel the rib cage opening. Very, very soft and gentle twist through the right side. And a passive stretch through the left shoulder, left arm. Notice if you are gripping, tightening anywhere, use the exhale to release out. Bringing the right palm back if you had that arm extended, pressing into the right palm to bring yourself up. Bring the left palm down and just release a little. Find again that kind of rebound pose as you release the left arm. Sway the hips, maybe a round of cat and cow. So changing sides, right arm lifts up and threads through and under. Again, you can release the head onto a block or to the mat. Keep the hips nice and high above the knees. And you can keep that left palm by the face or sweep the arm towards the top of your mat. Soften into the opposite side. Wiggle the fingers of your right hand. Make sure there's still movement. And then release that movement and find stillness. Bringing the left palm back as you breathe in. Press up. Right palm comes back to the mat. Sway the hips, round of cat and cow, just to find that rebound release. Notice how the shoulders, the upper back, the chest now feels. And release back just into your child's pose. Maybe the hands come underneath the head or you stretch the fingers away, lengthening the spine. Lifting up, breathing out to release. And then walking the hands back towards the knees, rolling up through the spine. Take a kneeling posture just to find that spinal alignment here. Preparing for our last seated posture, which is caterpillar or seated forward fold. So you can sit on a block, and you can also use your bolster to support your head here. Or you may wish not to use any props and just simply bend the knees, relaxing over the thighs, or keeping the legs straight. So many, many, many options. The feet are out in front of you, trying to keep the feet together if you can. If not, just get a little bit of space. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room so that you get the flesh away from the sit bones. And then lift up the spine. Exhale. Relax forward, letting the head release. So soften through the head and the neck here. You're not holding them in place. Unless, of course, you're using a bolster. And relax the shoulders. Try not to let the shoulders creep up to the ears. So this is our last seated posture before we come on to our backs. So being aware of the spine, the back of the legs. Feel where you can feel the posture targeting. Maybe you feel it into the spine. Maybe you feel it into the backs of the legs, into the hamstrings, the backs of the knees. And it's really important here to find that flow of breath. The breath will certainly help you in caterpillar pose. If anything, this is our peak posture. Finding peace, calm and stillness rather than agitation, frustration, or pain. Moving to where you can hold the posture and find stillness at ease, but also having a little bit of challenge working towards your edge. There is a fine line. And only you can feel that. Breathing in, breathing out. Hands come by the side of you as you start to slowly unravel yourself. Rolling up through each and every vertebra, keeping the chin towards the chest. Rolling the shoulders back up in line with the hips and lengthening the spine. Taking time to lift the head, avoiding dizziness. Looking forward, maybe opening the eyes. And then gently lifting the legs. Hands come back behind you and just release windscreen wiper right and left. Great work. Let's come on to our backs. Last posture is our reclined twist. So a couple of variations for you. So drawing the knees in towards you and rolling out through the spine. And finding either a bolster or a block. You can rest the knees on there if you like in that twist. Or you might wish to try and release the legs down to the mat. And you might want to take the left over the right. So you're crossing the thighs. And then maybe it rests on a block or a bolster. Again, you don't have to use the props. But your target areas here are going to be opening up through the left side of your body, trying to draw the left shoulder blade downwards, opening the chest to the sky, relaxing into the left side of your rib cage, left side of your hip, buttock, and the outer thigh of your left leg. So as you come into that reclined twist, breathe out and just notice how that left side feels. What do you need to do to be able to hold it for 2 to 3 minutes? You feel that you're getting enough twist and you're really feeling the posture now, and you want to add another variation on, you can lift the head away and turn the face, turn the chin to look towards your left palm. You, of course, do not have to add that in. If the neck allows it at this point, you're getting a neck stretch here. And soften everything. Soften the abdomen, the buttocks. No contraction in the muscles of the legs. Bring the head back into center. Release the legs if you chose those cross-legged option, and then bring the legs back into center. Find the alignment through the pelvis and the spine. Release the feet to the outer edges, knees drop in, and the hands just rest on the belly. Allowing the spine to respond. Heel toe the feet into parallel. Right leg may cross over left. You shift the hips a little bit over to the right as the knees drop over to the left. Maybe using a block or a bolster to support them, that's okay. Or the knees might start to pull down towards the earth without compromising the right shoulder. So if your right shoulder is lifting off, think about drawing the shoulder blades downwards, getting the chest up towards the sky, and then supporting that underneath knee. Or it might just hang in the balance. Breathing out to release tightness and tension into that right hip, right glute, right buttock, right thigh, right side of the rib cage, right side of the spine. Each breath out, you release a little bit more. And then maybe you like to introduce the head, so lifting the head, looking towards the right palm. Softening the belly. And twists are a wonderful way to really bring, an immediate blood flow after release back into the digestive organs, back into the intestines, into the stomach. So really breathe into the abdomen areas here now. Breathe into the organs. Almost visualize the organs beneath the skin. Breathing in. Bring the head back into center. Breathing out. Release the legs. And bring the legs back in as you breathe in. And just taking the feet wide, dropping the knees together, realigning the spine and the pelvis. Hands come to the belly. And just feel all of that chi, blood flow, nourishment, releasing freely through the body. Heel toe the feet into parallel, extend the legs long, extend the arms, give yourself a big, big stretch. Feel alive from head to toe and toe to head. And then coming into your final posture of corpse pose, Shavasana, for final relaxation, maybe placing a bolster underneath the knees, maybe a block underneath the head, making sure that you're warm. Arms are face up to the sky, shoulder blades really spread out underneath you. So you're really pulling the upper and middle back downwards towards the spine, towards the mat, and you're releasing into the middle and the lower spine as you let the sacrum soften, spread out through the pelvis. And then find yourself there, nowhere else, just here. Being completely present with yourself, your flow of breath, and that freedom of chi now flowing around the entire body. Be still. Try not to fix anything or fill the void. Lie here. And find that peace, that calm, that support, that balance from your entire practice today. As you rest in the calm of inner balance and support, I'll leave you for a few minutes of personal silence. A few deeper breaths now, just bringing your awareness back as you awaken from Shavasana. Wiggling fingers, moving toes, releasing the head and neck, taking time, never rushing. Choosing to stretch or draw the knees in and rolling and massaging out through the spine, and making your way over to one side as you return to seated. Bringing the hands into heart center, Anjali Mudra. And just pressing the palms together here, widening the elbows, but not lifting the shoulders, softening the shoulders down. So this is an active posture here, really pressing the fingers and the heels of the hands together. Just feel that you have gained all you need from your practice this evening of relieving any stress and tension that you may have been holding in this meditative sequence, and that you can clear your thoughts, focus on the present moment when you need to, and that chi, that prana flows more freely around the body. Reminding ourselves of our mantra and affirmation for practice today. I rest in the calm of inner balance and support. Always thanking yourself for your practice, and I thank you. Namaste.